Compliments of a new year and welcome back to Period SA, the Science Hub. So, for the year 2024, we're just going to try and start from the beginning. This lesson accommodates from grade 10 to 12. As long as you are doing life sciences, then this lesson is a good lesson for you. So, for today, we're going to address factors that you will never hide a life sciences task and never find one. So, the scientific skills, whatever, the scientific skills. So I'm gonna try to orientate you to life sciences. So the orientation to life sciences. People will forgive me, it's raining and I don't have the proper mic. I just use my cell phone to record everything. As long as you can get the important factors here, then careless. So under the orientation to life sciences, this is the targeted people and the orientation to life sciences are our new grade 10s. Grade 10. So basically, you are used to natural sciences. Natural sciences just accommodates like the nature as a whole. So now we are breaking, or we took a wing to say we are gonna focus on life sciences, which means that we will deal a lot or talk a lot about life, how life formed or forms. You know what I'm saying? So which means that we're going to talk a lot about living and non-living organisms. So we're going to look, one thing that we're going to look at is that what are the contents of both living and non-living organisms? What entails a non-living or living organisms? What differentiates a living and a non-living organism? That's, we're going to look at such relationships under life sciences. On the issues around how fast does a particular non-living organism damages the other, the physical sciences will address that, because we'll be talking about motion that side. So for the side, we're going to focus a lot on how these living and non-living organisms differ and how do they benefit one another in life. Why do living organisms exist while looking at the non-living organisms? For example, you need a shelter for your survival, and a shelter is not living. Is it living? Or you need oxygen. You breathe in oxygen, and oxygen is not a living organism. It's a non-living organism. So that's in a way the interaction that we'll be talking about. And the other thing, you'll be consuming a lot of things from around, the likes of water and mineral salts from the food that you be eating, Danone and stuff. Some of those items, actually, almost all of them are non-living organisms. And you need the nutrients for your survival and water. So, science in particular, this life sciences or science in general, is based on observations. In science, number one, in science, we observe, we look at nature and try to interpret whatever that exists independent of nature. Like, we do not come up with new things, but we observe, we look at something and we say, okay, I saw a tree growing up in 7 months, and that's something that you observed, and somebody else can go and plow that particular tree and try to observe that movement of the tree or the growth of the tree. We be observing a lot, and in observing, you have to report to the other people. You tell people what you've seen. Hey, my friend, I saw somebody walking during the night, blah blah. That's science. You observe and you talk or report to the people. In talking, you be making some inferences. And remember, you might interpret something from the left angle, and somebody might interpret it from the center, somebody from the right, and your perspectives might all differ, but a combination might make sense. Hence, this will bring the issue of saying science information is tentative. Whatever inferences or claims you be making, they are subject to change. They can be altered or changed at any time. You do not own your perspective, and somebody else does not own his or her perspective. Yes, you're the one who realized or who noticed or who observed that. But in observing, you cannot, or it has never happened that one consider all the factors. So you will always need somebody to close the gaps so that the combination of your perspectives can make sense. And that's science. Science, we connect. So this will be inference, and then they'll form science. And science is subject to change. So, okay, let me just check the program here so that I don't move away from this science. So, okay, in observing this nature, you'll be looking at the types of variables around our planet, the types of variables. The types of variables. Now, the issue of the types of variables, remember, you're going to come up with the inferences from either the left, the right, or the centered perspective. And your interpretations might either be qualitative or quantitative. They might either be quantitative or qualitative. But for today, we are not here. So, your perspective being either qualitative or quantitative, one can say, okay, in the meantime, as you're busy observing, you can make, okay, if that happens, then this might happen. This is likely to happen. This might happen. The moment you tell yourself that, okay, if this happens, then this might happen, like you are being very much analytical. In being analytical, you are now hypothesizing. You are on the issue of a hypothesis. And a hypothesis is an educated guess. It's an educated, how do you write? Not a guess. It's an educated guess. Yes. A hypothesis is an educated guess. Just make a guess. To say, okay, if it rains in South Africa, everyone will get wet over the rain. I mean, like, that's a guess that you can make, and it can be proven to be right or wrong. It can be proven to be right or wrong. In South Africa, if it rains, everyone will get wet over it. What about those people inside the houses? Will they get wet of the rain also? Then the answer is no. Now you are now collecting the data. You are now considering the different variables around to say, okay, we can have people in a house, outside, wherever, and then you are now collecting the data in trying to prove your hypothesis or your claim. And we have the three types of variables. The dependent is one. You never write as a life sciences test and never find a question about the dependent variable. You have a dependent variable, the independent, and a controlled variable. What does it mean to say something is a dependent variable? What does it mean to say something is independent? What does it mean? Okay, now, just to simplify things, now we're going to come here. The independent variable. Here we'll be talking about the factor which causes the dependent variable to change. For example, temperature. I'll tell you why I'm saying temperature. Temperature. Now, let's assume that we're having a quantity of apples. Let me just check the phone if it's still recording. Okay, we're still fine. So let's assume that we're having a bucket of apples. Now, if we are to put the bucket of apples inside an oven and on it, so that it becomes hot, what will happen to the apples? Or we simply put them or expose them to the sun there and not eat them for a long period of time. What will happen to the apples? Yes, they are likely to rot. That's number one. They are likely to rot. This is when they are exposed to the hot temperatures. What about when they will be exposed to the cold temperatures? We put this very same bucket of apples, but not rotten this time around, fresh. We put them inside the deep freezer. Will they rot or freeze? Then we are now having a different case inside a freezer or in a fridge simply. They won't rot in a week. If we observed this in a week, this side they are likely to rot, and this side they might not get rotten. And whatever that we are making here or talking about, it's measurable. We can measure. We can always count the apples to say 1, 2, 3 got rotten, but this side we're still having full amount. Tomorrow we add 4, 5, 6 added to the number of rotten apples. So which means that the dependent variable is the measurable factor in an investigation. And for it to change, the main trigger will always be the independent variable. I mean, in terms of temperature, the temperature can always affect the number of apples. So here, e.g., the number of rotten apples. The number of rotten apples will always be affected by the temperature. When the temperature is hot, more apples will rot, and when the temperature is cold, a few apples will rot. And we are now going back to the issue of the hypothesis. That's an hypothesis. You are guessing, and in giving us the hypothesis, automatically you're touching the dependent variable and the independent variable without telling us directly that I am now touching the dependent and independent variable. That's a hypothesis. To say, okay, when it's hot, more apples will rot, and then when it's cold, few apples will rot, or no apples will rot. So now we have the issue of controlled variable. Controlled variable. Which one is this one? So now, for us to end up being able to compare, we have a bucket of apples in hot temperatures and cold temperatures. It's hot and cold. Let me put cold here. It's hot and cold temperatures. How are we going to know that the nature of apples keeps on changing or it doesn't change at all? We must have another sector which is controlled or which is kept constant. And in keeping this bucket constant, we want to be able to differentiate between this experiment 1 and 2 if the apples are changing or not. We want to have or create a point of reference. Okay, sorry for writing like that. So in controlling one factor, or in having a setup which is controlled, we want to have a point of reference so that we'll be able to differentiate, to say, okay, under hot temperatures we have so many apples rotten, but under controlled conditions we're still having this amount. Then we have a point of reference. Same applies to the cold temperatures. So a controlled variable refers to that factor, a factor which is kept constant in an experiment. Like you control it, you fix it, you fix it, you fix it, you fix it. And now they often request that you draw a graph, and learners tend to be confused to say which one between the dependent and the independent variable should be placed on the x-axis when I be drawing the graph. So now the independent variable, this one, temperature, time in years, this one will forever be found on the x-axis. On the x-axis. If this one is on the x-axis, then the dependent variable will be placed on the y-axis. And in most of the cases, they will normally give you a table like this one. A table, it's either it can be like this one, going down, and they write whatever, or the table can either be like this. They write whatever, this is your table. And they tell you that you must draw a particular graph. How are you going to spot the dependent or the independent variable from the table? Now, cram work, quick. Just come here, you put x and then y. This will be the independent variable. This here will be the independent variable, and this will be the dependent variable. Same applies to this one. Just come here, xy. This will be the independent variable, and this will be the dependent variable. Go and check the question papers, compare with the memorandums. It's a quickest way to memorize this and cram. And then, okay, we have touched the issue. Let me just take my program. We have touched the issue of a dependent variable, independent and controlled variable. Like the importance of having the controlled variable. We want to create a point of reference so that we be able to differentiate between the normal conditions or controlled conditions and versus the experimental conditions. That's the only reason why we're keeping some variables or factors controlled. And then, okay, the hypothesis, we touched it. So now, in doing or performing each and every experiment, you must have an aim. You must have an aim. What is your aim? Why are you doing that experiment? Why are you doing that experiment? Okay, forgive me. So why are you doing that experiment? What is your purpose? Why perform an experiment? Why perform an experiment? What is the purpose? And this automatically talks to the aim. From our case of April, our aim was to determine the number of rotten apples under varying or different temperatures. That was our aim. We wanted to determine the number of rotten apples under varying temperatures. That's we had the cold temperature, a controlled temperature, and a hot temperature, and we wanted to determine just only this. So this is how, like when we're saying something's an aim, to determine, to show, to explore, like the aim. Why are you doing? What is the reason? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? Okay, we still fine, still recording. I'm not gonna set this a record. We've been sweating. I'm not gonna edit this. And okay, right. Oh, by the way, I'm wearing my shirt. This is my clothing brand. It's Kushki. Go and check it on Instagram. Please support me. Buy my shirts. Tell your parents to buy these beautiful shirts from me. And I redesigned the brand, by the way. And I will be releasing some, beautiful and unique, shirts. Right. Okay. The issue of aim, we touched it also. Blah 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 blah, whatever. Okay, right. Now, going to the last item, which is normally asked in an exam or in a test, the issue of validity and reliability. Okay, yes, we managed to determine the number of rotten apples in varying temperatures. Let's assume that in hot temperatures, we had more apples. We had more rotten apples. Okay. And under cold, we had few rotten apples, we assume. And we did our experiment like once, okay, and then controlled. Let's assume that for controlled, no apple was rotten. No rotten apple. Okay, this is case number 1, number 2, and number 3. Like, this were our observations. Okay, these are our fictional observations. We just assuming to say under hot temperatures we're going to have more apples being rotten, and under cold temperatures few. Yes, apples do get rotten inside the fridge, and under controlled temperatures we had none of rotten apples. Now the question is, are these observations valid? Are they accurate? Are they accurate? Are we sure that these are the results that we just observed once? Are we sure that these are indeed the results? And we are now questioning the issue of reliability. Are these observations reliable? We are now questioning the issue of reliability versus validity. And normally, the validity, it talks to the sureness of the results, and here we'll be talking to the accurateness of the results. Under our reliability, this result is reliable. We are saying if somebody else is to conduct the very same experiment, will the person get the same results? Nah. If the person will not get the same results, then these results are not reliable. They will be considered to not be reliable. And then, secondly, going to the issue of sureness, are we sure that these are the results? Are we sure? So now, in asking the question of sureness, now we are going to touch or stress the issue of different settings. So okay, this one did the experiment in Zanene. In Zanene, it's very much hot, and in Venda or in Cape Town, the temperatures are a little bit low. So people might want to confirm their results to say, no man, this cannot be valid. This is highly impossible. So in touching or stressing the issue of different settings, then we'll be talking to validity, to confirm the sureness of the results. The sureness of the result. The sureness of the result. Here we're talking to the accurateness of the results. So now, the exam question normally comes and ask or expect or winner or account on how you can ensure the reliability of the a particular investigation. The reliability, number one, the reliability must be informed by the repeatability of the investigation. If you are able to repeat the experiment and get the same results, then it means that the results are reliable. And in making the results reliable, you must control all variables. If they did the experiment in hot temperatures, then you must do your experiment in hot temperatures also, not in cold temperatures. Or you performing something else. So okay, let me not erase. This is enough. Okay, just erase. Just erase. Just erase. Okay, maybe let me just give you an example on the issue of reliability and validity. Okay. Okay. Ensuring reliability. Let's assume that you were okay. Let me just fetch it. Okay, let's assume that you were running a test for HIV, for the HIV virus. It's you running the test for the HIV virus, and you use one test kit, and then you find that you are HIV positive. Are you going to believe the results? I mean, like at home, you test this at home. Or let's assume that you're having a pregnancy test. Okay, I love this. Let's assume that you're having a pregnancy test, and then what test? You are pregnant at home. You are alone at home. It was you and your boyfriend. You decided to not tell the parents or the sisters, and then you're like, okay, I have been for very little for Then all the tester, you are pregnant. Are you going to believe the results on the first go? No, it's highly impossible. Normally, you would want to test for the second time. Then you test for the second time, you find that you are indeed pregnant. Are you going to believe the results? You are likely to not believe the results. And you be like, I remember the lady pregnancy test. No, I want that one from Clicks. You go to Clicks or Discount. You buy that one of 200 and something, the one which shows the month. Then you test. You are 2 months pregnant. And you be like, no, this one I don't trust it. For about 2 hours, I am a and then you are pregnant, sis. You go to the clinic, you get tested. You are pregnant. You go to a private doctor, they tell you that you are pregnant. Now, are the results that you've gotten reliable? Yes, they are reliable because they were informed by the repeated processes. You repeated the process time and again, and you got the same results. The repeatability. In repeating the experiment, you will be able to tell if the investigation is reliable. Repeat. And you cannot just repeat the experiment. If you repeated you were using your urine to test for the results, then you want to use for your hair to test for the pregnancy. If you used your urine or your blood samples on Dr. 1, Dr. 2, Dr. 3, then be it you must use your blood samples throughout. You must use your urine throughout. I mean, like, do you get what I'm saying? This is in a professional result. So, which means that you must control all variables. And in controlling all variables, you be ensuring validity. I mean, like, immediately after using this, like, you're still waiting for the results. Then my first check do you expect this to be reliable? No, it was not exposed to the same environment. I mean, the testers were not exposed to the same environment when testing. You know, if we should check we temporarily rotella, so in terms of if the validity lacks, then automatically the reliability will lack. This is according to my 2 cent interpretation. Then we have to talk to the issue of how to ensure the validity in an experiment. How to ensure the validity. Okay, after here, okay, it's fine. After here, 1, 2, 3. Okay, it's fine. After here, we go into the drawings. Then, okay, it's fine. So, in ensuring the validity, one must always bear in mind that all variables must be controlled. Control all variables, and if all variables are controlled, then the validity will be ensured. What exactly should I control? Number one, you can control the temperature. If you expose your pregnancy test to enjoy local stuff in where we are fridge in where we are just feel like you create the results generate. Whenever I experiment, instead of confirming the results, you are trying to repeat the one process and get a confirmation of the correct results. Then it means that you must control the temperature. Keep the temperature constant. And secondly, as you be doing these experiments, you just sample a little bit of the blood, just tipping of your blood. What if my blood sample, the one that I sample, had a mutation, and as a result, you are not HIV positive or pregnant? What if? So chances are you're gonna volunteer. So it's important that in ensuring the validity, you increase the sampling size. And once you have gotten your results here, you can also improve the measuring skills and calculate averages. You improve the measuring skills and calculate the averages. And I don't even know what I'm talking, but you're the ones whom are going to write. So up to so far, we stressed the issue of how to write a hypothesis and what is a hypothesis, how to write the aim of the experiment, and what are the differences between 3 variables, the dependent, independent, and the controlled variable, and why, the reason why we should have a controlled experiment or a controlled variable in an investigation. That one we stressed, and then another thing, we stressed the issue of validity and reliability. How can we ensure the validity and reliability of a particular investigation? I mean, like, imagine it's you. You test people around your place. Now, let's assume that you are at Polokwane, just in town only, and then you run a test for HIV or for teenage pregnancy, or you go to one school, you go and test the kids for HIV. Then you find out that a lot of learners from that school are HIV positive. Then you come to write a report. You say all learners in South Africa are HIV positive. Now, my question to you is that will your claim be valid and reliable? Is it valid and reliable? The question, it's a simple no. It's a simple no. You only went to one school. Your data or your conclusions must be drawn as per that school. They cannot be used to represent the states of South Africa. It's highly impossible. For you to end up having a data which represents the whole states of South African school, it means that you must sample at least 5 schools from Limpopo, 5 schools from Gauteng. Then in each and every province you must sample schools and then calculate averages. And those cases we will then say your data is valid. You are actually or indirectly increasing the sampling size. You are increasing the size. You're improving the measuring skills and the calculation of averages. And one can on the issue of reliability, you can. This one is simple. Ensure the validity, then automatically you are ensuring the reliability. I don't know if I made sense. So now, in getting the results, you cannot come and tell us that learner A, learner B from Natala was HIV positive, this one was negative. You can simply represent your data on different graphs. So in life sciences, we have 3 types of graphs. We have 3 graphs. They can request that you draw a line graph, which you are familiar with, a bar graph, a histogram, or a pie chart. And this question normally comes for 5 to 6 marks in a test. Imagine if you're writing already, you're having 6 marks for this graph. So now, first things first, in life sciences, before drawing each and every graph, make sure that you have a title. Make sure that you have a title. Make sure that you identify the correct dependent and independent variable. So I'll just paste this task. It's handwritten here. It's from the learner's book. I'll just show you. It's from the learner's book. Unfortunately, you don't know the names. It's from the learner's book. I just took one learner's book, and then we just needed this activity. Now it reads as follows. I'll just paste it there. The table below shows the results comparing the rate of photosynthesis under varying concentrations of carbon dioxide. We're going to solve this task. And then they've given the table as shown there, carbon dioxide, blah, blah. And then, when you know very well that we said you're going to put X and then Y, then where there is where you've put an X, it means that it's an independent variable. And where it's a Y, it means that it's a dependent variable, which makes our carbon dioxide concentration the independent variable. Now we go to the questions. Question 1.1. Question 1A. Identify the following, the independent variable. What is the independent variable from that table? I said enough. The carbon dioxide concentration will be the independent variable. And then, okay, I don't know if I should write the answers. Okay, I don't really want to write the answers because you know how to do these things. And then what will be our dependent variable? I know that somebody else said it's carbon dioxide concentration. No, the dependent variable will be the rate of photosynthesis. For the rate of photosynthesis to change, it depends on whatever, on slight changes in the carbon dioxide concentration. Hence, when we're having the ppms of 10 under the carbon dioxide concentration, the rate of photosynthesis is 6. Then you can see there that it's increasing and then it suddenly drops. Now, how can we ensure the validity and the reliability of the results depicted on the table above? God, we just treated it. Now you're gonna communicate. You're gonna say reliability, and then you tell us everything for reliability. Just 2 points, and then validity, you tell us 2 points. Now, what was the purpose of conducting the experiment? I want to hear what people think. What was the purpose of conducting the experiment? Now, look at the statement that you given there just before the table. The table below shows the results comparing the rate of photosynthesis under varying concentration of carbon dioxide. What was the reason for conducting that experiment? It's well said, to compare the rate of photosynthesis under different concentration of carbon dioxide. Simple. Get it? Or to compare the rate of photosynthesis under varying concentrations of carbon dioxide. You copy it exactly from there, but you write it in a present tense. A reporter like recently. Let me check. Are we still safe? Okay, good. This is it's the longest session. And I go a little sale. I know I go a little sale. Mara, to benefit. Draw, now the last question says, draw a line graph to represent the data above for 7 marks. This is the first thing that you should do. Write a caption, a title. Write a title. I will just remove this one because yeah. And for a title, they are saying draw a line graph. Now you're gonna say a line graph. Now you change the shows to again present continuous tense. Line graph showing the comparison, or the line graph which compares. Let's put it simple. Line graph which compares the rate of photosynthesis under varying concentrations of carbon dioxide. And already you are having 1 mark for writing the correct title. They said you must draw a line graph. You are having 1 mark. What does a line graph look like? A line graph, it's just a line. People are familiar with that. From grade 9, actually from lower grades, you've been drawing or seeing line graphs. So now, we are now going to start plotting. Now, just draw your beautiful half of the Cartesian plane like here. And then, which scale can you use? Before the scales, what is your, on the x-axis, what should be placed on the x-axis? I told you that you must write on the table. If the table is like this, I told you that you're going to put the x and then y. Which means that on the x-axis, we're going to put the carbon dioxide concentration. Remember to write the SI units. Not just write it, the SI units. Then on the y-axis, we're going to put the rate of photosynthesis. Me is tired. Me is tired. Me is tired. You copy it the way it is. Do not leave anything and avoid losing marks unnecessarily. This is free 6 marks. This is free 5 marks. And I've given you 7 marks there. Because sometimes, no go back for the marks. They just give you for free. Then we will have something of this caliber. Then now we can do our plottings. We can do our plottings or our scales. Our scales first. Scales. And then we're going to start with the carbon dioxide concentration. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Okay, we save here 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. And make the spaces look a little bit realistic, as if you decide you divided them accordingly. Okay, we still save. And then also here we're gonna use the same scale: 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. I mean, doesn't matter. Like, we can use the same scale. And then, right now we go on to the plotting. Or before the plotting, did you create a beautiful scale on the x-axis and write the correct variable? Remember, this is the independent variable. Did you write the correct variable here? And did you do the beautiful scale? Then if yes, it's a mark for this one. Did you do the correct scale on the y-axis and write the correct variable? Then if it's a yes, you have another mark. Before plotting, you are having 3 marks. You are having 3 marks. In an exam, and question draw a graph, identify dependent, independent variables. I'll run straight to it and answer it first, because I know that I'm having my 3 marks. The ensuring of validity and reliability. You answer those first and then you have your 3 marks. Now we are plotting. Okay, right. We have 10 and 6. Now we're gonna come here and divide this. Remember, it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Now I divided accordingly. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is our 6. You make some invisible dots here, and then you come here, you plot here to say, okay, this is where my 6 and 10 meet. This is their coordinate. And then 20 and 9. Yes, it's 20 and 9. This is our 9. Make everything look a little bit real. Okay, cannot put it here. Make everything look real. This is our 9. We'll be using a ruler, right? This is our 9. And then 30 and 12. Okay, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Okay, we'll divide accordingly there. Okay, it's 12. This is our 12. Then put your beautiful 12 here. And then 40 and 10. You go to 10, 40 and 10, somewhere here. 50 and 8, 8, 7, 8, somewhere here. Somewhere here. And then from there, you connect the dots. Always start from 0. You connect, 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 and then connect. Never force it to form a straight line. If it doesn't want to, then it won't. But when I plot these things directly as they are from the table. I don't know Roy Berger Jungalina, but I want to tap. So now, is this a line graph? If yes, then for type, the type of the graph that you've drawn, you're going to get an extra mark. I mean a mark, not an extra mark. Then how many marks are you having? 4. Then for plotting, they can allocate 2 marks or 3 marks for plotting. For our case, it's 3 marks for plotting. They normally say if you manage to plot 1 point correct, then 1 mark. And then if you manage to plot 2 points correct, then 2 marks. If you manage to plot 3 points, then you get full 3 marks. Then the marks how you fell. This is not difficult, and I believe in you guys. I know that you're going to crack this one. And my phone is almost battery off, but we're gonna try to draw all the graphs fast. Okay. Line graph drawn. Okay. Line graph drawn. Seeing how it's gonna be drawn, like simple as that. Just forge everything, make it look real. Use a ruler and forge the measurements. See, look at the kid here. Look at the kid. What the kid wrote, ppm. This is a wrong way of writing. You just mark it here, right here. This is a wrong way of writing these things. I mean, look. Okay, ppm. What is ppm? ppm are the SI units. You must write the variable in full. Write the variable in full. Same applies to this one. Then you're gonna lose the mark for writing the correct variable. A dependent variable is not, the independent variable is not ppm, but the carbon dioxide concentration alongside with its SI units. That's what should be written here. And you look at the title, the purple. There's no title, no caption here, and a mark for caption lost. At least for a type, you'll get a mark. But make no compromises. Do beautiful drawings here. Stop drawing as if you're a headless chicken. And then, okay, we have a quiz there also. Just I'm pasting it now, and then please try to write it, and then we do corrections together. I'll be quick here. Right, let's come back. Let's come back. And my people, remember to tell your parents to buy this beautiful shirt, culture in style. And I'll show you I'll put a new design there so that you see it. You must unite in style and defy boundaries. We add the space, like the butterflies add the space. You know what I'm saying? So okay, right. The table below shows the number of decomposing bacteria found in soils with different pH levels. And there's a table. Draw a histogram graph using the data above. Now we're gonna draw a histogram. Before drawing, first things first, caption. And then our caption will be like, okay, they want a histogram. Now it means that you're gonna say a histogram showing what? The number of decomposing bacteria, number of decomposing bacteria found. You just copy it. Stop being lazy. Found in soils with different pH levels. We must always find the dependent and the independent variable in your caption. You are having the number of decomposing bacteria, and then you are also having the soil pH or the pH levels as written from the table there. Now we're gonna quickly plot it and write fast. Okay, right, just a beautiful line, and then for this one, simple. This is a histogram. A histogram. The columns must touch one another. A bar graph. Have you ever seen the bar network? The bar network, they don't touch one another. There are spaces in between. So we are not drawing a bar graph here, a histogram. So in drawing a histogram, you just come here, okay? You come here. What is our independent variable, or which variable should be placed on the x-axis? I've shown you the skill. You put x and then y. Then which means that the soil type will be on the x-axis. Soil pH, soil pH on the x-axis, and then on the y-axis, number of decomposing bacteria. Now we're gonna do the scales here. Okay, on the x-axis, they've given it 1 to 2. You just come here, 1 to 2, 3 to 4, 5 to 6, 7 to 8, 9 to 10, 11 to 12, 13 to 14. Okay, fell like 13 to 14. Then you leave it like that, and then you come on the y-axis. Doesn't matter, eh? Just do it like this, fast, and then you come to the y-axis. Okay, we have 0, 2, 10. Then in this we can have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. But the quickest way, you should have 0. Okay, we can have 0, 10, 0, 10, 20, 40, 30, 40, and then 50. Okay, right. Now we're going to plot now. When the soil pH is between 1 and 2, what is what is the number of decomposing bacteria? 0. Then we cannot draw a column here. It's nothing. 0 means none. And then when the soil pH is between 3 and 4, then we have 2. Then 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then our 2, it's roughly here. Then we're gonna come here and then say, okay, this is my 2. Then you can write it inside, just to make sure that you don't lose track of what you're doing. And then 5 and 6, between 5 and 6, when the soil type is between 5 and 6, the number of decomposing bacteria is 10. Then you come here, okay, here it's my 10. And you construct a line going there. Remember to make everything look real. Then 10, you can write it inside. Between 7 and 8, it's 22. 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. We said it's 22. 22. You draw a line from this one. You connect it here. This is a histogram. Simple. And then this is 22. And then 9 and 10. And 9 and 10 is 31. I'm just gonna do 31 only. Must be able to fake it. 31. And then 11 and 12, it's 45. 45, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45. And 45 will be somewhere here. And, okay, 45. 13 and 14, it's 30. And 30 somewhere here. 31 and 14, it's 31. 31 and 14, it's 30. 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 Then done. Now we are marking. Let me check if it's still recording. Okay, save for 1 hour. God. Okay, now we're gonna come here. Is the caption correct? Then we give it a mark, 1 mark, and then are you having the correct dependent variable and the correct scale on the x-axis? Then yes, correct. On the x-axis, is this the beautiful scale and the correct independent variable? Then correct. This is the independent variable, people. Then this one will be the dependent. Okay, we are having 3 marks. Now, when it comes to the type, did you really draw the histogram that they requested? Then, if yes, you're going to get a mark for the type. And then for plotting, same story. You're going to follow the same story. If you managed to plot just one pH scale correct, then you're gonna get 1 mark. And then if you plotted some of them but one is incorrect, you're gonna get 2. But if you plotted them all correct, then you're just gonna get full 3 marks for plotting. So just make sure that you do the right thing, and then you get your beautiful 7 marks here. 7 marks, Mahal. Okay, right. I'm pasting another task there. Oh, we on number 2. Number two. Let's do the corrections for number 2. I'm tired. I'm tired, but I don't have a choice. I have to do this for you, for your sake, for Banaba school, for Bana, for Bana. I'm gonna upload it immediately. Okay, right. Draw a bar graph representing the comparison between species diversity in the Kruger National. Right, my people, we are back. iPhone way feature baby la so because iPhone disha for example what is the battery affair. So we're just gonna do number 2 there, the caption for number 2. So we're say le papa jongwa automor bar graph representing the comparison between species of between species diversity in the Kruger National Park using 5 kingdoms. 5 kingdom classification system. One mark for this. I'm not gonna mark it. I've been showing you this, and then you come here, you do your beautiful half of the Cartesian plane, and then XY. Remember XY, and then the kingdom should be found on the x-axis, which means that this is our independent variable, and then number of different species on the y-axis. Write everything the way it is, and then here just gonna come here 5 1 2 3 4 5. Number 1, we have bacterium, followed by protist, and followed by fungi, followed by plants, and then animals. Now you're having a beautiful x-axis with correct scales. 1 more for that, and then now 1 2 3 4 5. You can just come up with a scale of 10, okay, 10, 20, 30, 40. Okay, that's at 31, it's fine. Then we're having a beautiful scale here also. Then we're gonna quickly plot. You mastered this and you're marking for yourself, right? Beautiful. Remember, this is the point of origin, it's 0. And then for our bacteria, how many species are we having? It's just 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, it's just 1. Then we're gonna come here, 1. It's a bar. Make sure that it does not touch. Let it be within the bars, just like this. They shouldn't touch one another. There must be spaces in between. And then, okay, right. For protists, there must be 2. And then 2 is somewhere here. Same story here. Make sure that they don't touch. This is 1, 2. You can do like this. And then for fungi, it's 5. 5. 5. And then for plants, it's 25. 5 will be somewhere here. Come here, you do like this. Simple. 25. And then animals, avoid shading. Shading is useless. Animals, 31. 31 is somewhere here. Then you come with row 31. Then you erase your assisting lines. Then you have your beautiful paragraph here. Then you're gonna get full 7 marks. Soon, but it's fine. We are almost done. Right. I'm pasting the second one, and then okay. Here's the second one. Yeah, you're writing. Pause and write. Pause and script. Pause and write. Tango. Yeah. Let's continue then. Okay. I'm gonna quickly erase these ones. Where did I put my eraser? I'm gonna quickly erase this one. Okay. Here we're gonna move because my phone, the battery is about to pera. Now, construct a pie chart using the following nutritional information which was recorded on the back of the breakfast cereal box. Now we must come up with a caption. The caption, first things first. Pie chart. Do you want a pie chart? Pie chart. Doing what? Showing the nutritional information. Showing the nutritional information which was recorded on the back of a breakfast cereal box. 1 mark for this. 1 mark for this. Sorry for saying marks. It's a mark. 1 mark for this. It's a bar. 1 mark for this. And then now, a pie chart is a revolution like this. It's a revolution. So it's just a complete circle. Now my question is, how are you going to know that I must divide this by this, by this? Like how? So if you look there, we're having carbohydrates, lipids, proteins, vitamins, and minerals. The percentages, when you add them, they add up to 100%. This is not represented by 100%, but 360 degrees, because it's a revolution. So it means that we must do the calculations from the this this revolution and get the relevant degrees here. So okay, I'll just write C for carbon. Carbon it's 75 divided by 100%. Then you're gonna multiply it by 360 degrees, because when you go to 360 carbon, how many degrees, not in terms of the percentages. And then it's going to be 270 degrees. So 270 degrees, okay, I'll just assume, okay, it's fine. It's like this. Here 270 degrees, right? Then when we go up, this will be our 90, 180, and then 290, 290 minus 20. Then our 270 can be somewhere here. You forge everything. And this is for carbon. Carbon, you write to say it's 75%. Okay, labeled. And then we go to lipids. Lipids is a 12% divided by 100% multiplied by 360. You must show these calculations and write to say this is carbon. This one will be equal to 43,2 degrees. And then 43,2 degrees, 20 plus, okay, 20 point, then it's gonna be somewhere here. You just forge it. And then this is for lipids. Lipids represented by 12%. The percentage is 12. And then you go to the proteins. Proteins, how many? 3/100 multiplied by 360 degrees. Over any 10,8 degrees. It calculated your so that we can save time, interest of time. So for the proteins, 10.8. 10.8, okay. This is for proteins. It's 10. Okay. I'm not gonna write this one. Protein. It's 3%. Protein 3%. Vitamin 8/100 multiplied by 360 degrees. That's equal to 28,8 degrees Celsius. Maybe degrees Celsius. It's not Celsius. And then why for Leona more than our vitamini 8%. 8%. Then you must write the calculation for mineral, even though you can see what the remaining space is for minerals. M is given by 2/100 multiplied by 360 and is equal to 7,2. And then you come here, this is for mineral. Mineral is given by 2%. Then you label just like this. Then you have your beautiful pie chart there. Here, when they're marking, they're gonna have, depending on the rubric that they'll be having, 1 mark normally goes to them. It's compulsory. It goes to the topic, the caption, and then they will come here. Okay, did you show the calculations? They can say if you have 2 calculations correct, then you have a mark for them, and then they can group them like this. 1 mark for correct 2, 1 mark for correct 2, and then if all of them are correct, then you get full 3 marks. They can group them like this to say, okay, if all of them are correct, all calculations are correct, then you get 3 marks. But if only 2 are correct, only 4 are correct, then 2 marks, just like that. Then which means that for the calculations you're gonna have 3 marks. 3 plus 1, then it's again, whatever. It's 4 marks. Sometimes I cannot have a marker here, a marker this one, and the rest. It will depend. And then they come here for the distributions. They can give you a mark or 3. Doesn't matter. Then you have your beautiful 7 marks, just like that. And then the remaining questions, you just gonna answer the remaining questions. You're just gonna answer, please. Just do me the justice and answer. Differentiate between the following: dependent and independent variable. Do not write the dependent variable is placed on the y-axis and the independent on the x-axis. Do not write that. The dependent variable is a measurable factor in an investigation, and the independent variable is the factor which causes the dependent variable to actually change. And then validity, this one I told you that the validity talks to the sureness of the results, the trueness of the results in the experiment, whereas the reliability talks to the accurateness of the results. Define the following concepts: hypothesis and aim. You will see those, but just open at the back of your textbooks. If you're using understanding, you will find the definitions. Now, these are the exam tips. Beautiful exam tips. Beautiful exam tips. I'm not gonna write them on the board. Read them the way they are. Know how to draw the following graphs: line graph, bar graph, histogram, and a pie chart. Number 2, know how to identify the dependent and independent variables using and be able to use the definitions and examples. Like, you must be able to identify it from either a scenario or from a table. From a table, it's simple, and from a scenario you can apply the same technique. X, y, the first variable is x, the second variable will be y, and then you will win. Simple as that. And then another thing, be able to do the following: generate the aim of the investigation, generate the hypothesis of the investigation. Please, there is no task that you will write and not draw or answer using the information that we were using vandaag. So, my people, I would like to appreciate you for wasting your data and watching this video from the beginning up until the last. And man, so I'm gonna post grade 11 and 12 content for grade grade.
Please like, share, turn on the notification buttons